do need speech to text. I do have just. It does hurt to type a lot. So if I've had a bit heavy day of typing, so I apologize. That's why sometimes you guys will do these comments and stuff, and it sometimes there's my hands up to try to respond to them all. So it's not an excuse or anything like that. I just it does help to type. You know, I got to use them else. Use it. Yeah. All right. We got 16 people, 16 human beings in here. Hello, and welcome to Raider HQ After Dark live stream, Saturday edition. Hello, all. Can you all hear me? Let's do a mic check in this one, because I have had kind of a really weird mic situation, and I'm going to unplug something, and hopefully it doesn't destroy this stream. Hello? Okay, I still see myself on there. Can I get a yes in chat? Okay, there we go. All right, great. All right. Well, hello, everyone. How is everyone? Post-Christmas live stream. The dogs are all just running around right now. They're pacing like big cattle pacing in front of me. But how was everyone's Christmas? I hope it was all well and good. Tonight, we're just going to be talking about weird stuff, and I'm just going to try to race through questions. How long does it typically take for claims to show up in the portal? It depends on the processing speed, how you submitted it. If the claim was through snail mail, it typically can take a week or so for them to receive it and manually scan it in and do all the fun stuff. But if it was through va.gov or through like the SEP program for VSOs, whenever they submit it through the SEP portal, it can be faster. So I don't have a direct thing, no timetables. And yes, I do need speech to text because I am disabled in my hands and typing hurts and it sucks, but I have to do it. It's kind of sucks. Yeah. Hello to you, Samuel. And you were finally notified. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you were notified. And if you guys noticed tonight, I have turned on, and hopefully you guys saw that, it is subscriber only chat. So if you want to do a comment on the live stream, you just have to be a subscriber, and subscribership is free. So don't, it's not anything that you have to pay for. So just click the subscription bell, click the notification bell too if you want to. And that way you can get live stream updates. It's pretty consistent. Saturdays are live stream days, so we try to answer as many questions as humanly possible. Hope everyone is having a good evening. I do too. Certified vet. Why is it that VSRs get more points if they schedule an exam? Because exams take longer. I almost want to show you that point system, but I'll have to look in my emails. I'll have to send that to myself where what the point system PDF is for VSRs. But yeah, they do. They used to not, like it used to be like circa 2019. They used to have it to where no matter what action you did, you would get 1 point per transaction. So like if you did something that caused the claim to recall, you'd get 1 point. Didn't matter what you did. So that was a lot better system, in my opinion, because there wasn't any kind of, if I do this one thing, like you weren't incentivized to do take a certain action over a different action because you got more points. So I used to like it more back in that time for the VSRs. And hanging on your every word, try not to fall down the stairs. Back the part of my brain that they cut out. Oh man, I'm sorry. I know that was a little rude towards LTN Dene, but yeah, I don't. Once again, just got to watch out with stairs, man. But hey, congrats on your 100%. I'll say it with my voice and not just with my text type. And I want you to know that although I might have helped you organize that, you wrote that. Okay. You had the evidence, you wrote it, you did all the legwork. This is your victory. Okay. So if you took something from what I said, that's cool. But at the end of the day, I'm not the reason that you got it. You're the reason that you got it. So congrats on the 100%. Because it was you, right? I want to say that. Yeah. Yes. 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 Okay. Had to confirm. My brain is not what it used to be. So let me look here for more questions. I think this is a question. I finished a higher level review. My question is, what happens next in the process? So, Frankie, now, guys, please slow down on the questions because this one might take me a minute to do. So, if I take 5 minutes to answer something, you guys will give me 10,000 more questions. So just slow down on them. So what happens is that the DRO will make an initial rating decision. They will determine whether or not they disagree, like they deny your higher level review request, or if they found some kind of duty to assist error or some kind of difference of opinion. Now, if they deny it, you get one rating decision from the DRO denying your higher level review. If they find that your higher level review has merit, then they will give you a rating decision telling you the most generic way humanly possible that they have found a duty to assist error, a clear and unmistakable error, or some kind of derivative of that thing. What happens then is the EP 030, the higher level review, gets transitioned, gets closed, and then they open up an 040, a supplemental claim. And when the DRO does their rating decision, they will fill out a VA form 20-0999 form, 0999 form. And what it does is it actually is their kind of guidebook for telling the VSR and the rater what actions that they want them to take, such as get a new examination for this particular medical opinion that was missed. Like if there was a missed issue or something like, please rate for this, please get this exam, please do this, that, and the other. The rater and the VSR have to follow the action. Well, the VSR has to follow the actions that the DRO says. The rater has latitude to rate how the evidence dictates, so that the DRO cannot tell them how to rate, grant or deny. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there. Oh, that was my mom. I got to call my mom here in a little while. Sorry, guys. But I will talk to my mom here in a little bit. So that's what happens next. So then when the supplemental claim goes through, it'll go through like a normal claim. Okay, work from home is, I want to say that's work from home is okay, yeah, instead of on-site due to chronic mobility. Okay, American Disabilities Act. Associated with work. I'm trying to work, but getting, okay, so TDIU will be based upon your specific limitations, right? So it'll be the thing that I talk about, and this has to do with a question that was asked before the live stream started, guys. So, and it'll be hard for me to find it. Now, honestly, this is the best thing that you can do if you're going to do a TDIU claim, is get a job description list from your like previous job. If you're currently employed and it's considered gainful employment, you can't get TDIU. You have to be deemed unemployed or not gainfully employed in order to qualify for TDIU. But it's not going to be the examiner who does the increase exams on you that determines whether or not you're unemployable. It is the rater, and they have no functional understanding as to what your job duties are whenever that examiner says, hey, look, the veteran's service-connected disabilities limits them to A, B, C, D. So it behooves you to submit a list of duties that you have, and how, so that way, whenever the rater contrasts that with what the examiner says, they have an accurate input, okay? Since there's a likelihood of improvement, the assigned evaluation is not considered permanent and is subject to routine future examination. That is true. So that is true, which just means you'll get a future exam. And then if that future exam comes back, then they typically will make it static, permanent in nature. How can somebody be rated for 50% sinusitis due to headache, tenderness more than 6 non-incapacitated and also be rated for migraine secondary to sinusitis? It's because of how, let me move this over here, and we're going to move this over here, and then we're going to move this over here. Okay. It has to do with specifically pyramiding. Okay. So we're going to talk about pyramiding, and I'm going to pull this up. So give me just a second here. And let me make this bigger. And then we're going to hit Control F. Nope. We're going to hit Control F. And then we're going to hit 8100. Okay. And 8100 is migraines. Okay. So headaches and migraines are two different things. So headaches are non-prostrating in nature. So headaches associated with sinusitis, that symptom does not need to be used for migraines. So headaches themselves can be used in the pursuit of the 50% criteria for sinusitis. And it does not interfere with migraines because, as you can see in the migraine granting section, there is no statement for headaches. It only has to do with prostrating attacks, and frequently and completely prostrating attacks. So that's how you can get away with having sinusitis at 50% for headaches and tenderness, but also get migraines service-connected secondary to sinusitis. That's a very odd secondary, but fair enough. There's no pyramiding here. If it said like very frequent prostrating migraines with headaches, then that would be pyramiding and you couldn't do it. There would be a barrier there. But there's currently no barrier with migraines overlapping with headaches. Okay? So 38 CFR 4.14 for pyramiding isn't invoked. So I hope that you took something good from that. I know it can be very challenging. What is pyramiding? What is not? So, like, what is pyramiding? If you had, it can also happen when an examiner will subscribe a symptom to something else. So like if you had fatigue related to, if the examiner believes that the fatigue is due to the sleep apnea more than it is chronic fatigue, then that would be some kind of pyramiding there. But oh, okay. Oh, awesome. Cool. I don't want to lose this. So 545 at there. So let's go to the starred stuff. Okay. T-Bird, thank you for becoming a member. Awesome. Guys, when you guys become a member, it means a lot to me. You guys don't have to do this. Okay. You don't like, I'm going to be putting out content regardless. So I appreciate that, you guys not only taking your time, your money, to support the channel. I appreciate that. I do. It humbles me every single time. What is your thoughts on sleep apnea secondary to my service-connected lower back at 50% using obesity as the intermediate step? So you have to be careful in how you word this. Sleep apnea secondary to weight gain caused by your lower back, it would be more like sleep apnea secondary to weight gain caused by abnormal caloric intake and inability to exercise from thoracolumbar spine condition. That's a better way to put it, because how you name things helps the VSR organize the exam request. It helps the examiner understand what you're actually trying to service connect it due to, things like that. But I think it's a good thing, because your back being at 50% shows that you're that disabled for your back, and it shows how limited, and it's really different. Like examiners, if your back's 10%, it's a really hard sell to them to say that your back exclusively prevents you from exercising, off excess calories. But if it's at 50%, that's drastic, right? Like that's a drastic rating decision. So they're more open-minded to that, I will say. Fanman, hey Raider, please forgive me if I missed your answer to the pre-live stream 1.5. I really need your advice on this one. This is 4 parts. I think I did answer it. Now this is only to Fanman. Can you just shoot me an email with that 4-parter, because I doubt I will be able to go back and look at that. And Rudy, thank you for the gift, the dark membership, the After Dark membership gifted. I appreciate that. Once again, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for everything. And thank you for becoming a member. I want to say Dwayne Lawson. Okay. Dwayne. Okay. Dwayne Lawson. Awesome. Thank you so much. Now let me try to find where I was beforehand, and we will get there. So I was at JC. Okay. Hi, my husband is IDS for central, IDES for central and hypersomnolence with daily sleep attacks. Which DBQ will they use, since there isn't one for sleep disorders? Okay, hypersomnolence will be a respiratory disorder, so it'll fall under sleep apnea. Hypersomnia will probably fall under sleep apnea. It depends. Let me pull up. Actually, let me go back here, and then off on a different window, let me pull up my, I have a cheat sheet kind of thing. So let me look at it real quick. We're going to just entertain this. Do not flood me with comments yet, guys. Because I want to answer all the questions. So give me just a second. Where's my tool? Now let's do hypersomnia. They're going to go respiratory with it. Yeah, they'll treat it as hypersomnia. Let me try somnia. Somnia. It does not like it. Nope. They will probably, unfortunately, they will probably go with sleep apnea. If you're looking for insomnia, then they will go with mental health. Yeah, like hypersomnolence is going to be the respiratory condition. Unfortunately, they'll treat it like it's sleep apnea because nobody's a doctor that works there. How do I increase this to permanent? Oh, you have to do the routine future exam, and they have to show stabilization. So the condition, and I remember the question beforehand, so I'll try to paraphrase the question. So you were saying that you were given, like, there shows some potential for improvement for your condition, so they're doing a routine future exam. The reason why they do that is because it still has the likelihood of improving. If during the next examination they get a same, similar, or worsening of the symptoms, then that will make it permanent. I hope that helps. Why does it appear that raters are copying and pasting information that makes no sense in their decisions? Well, Bill, this has to do with the fact that their decisions are auto-populated by the choices that they make in VBMSR. A lot of the time, they will copy and paste certain, the system will blow in certain required 38 CFRs and required law and all those kinds of things. There's also this light bulb function in VBMSR that you can type in, like, direct service connection requirements, and it'll auto-populate certain things. And newer raters make few changes to the auto-populated stuff. They'll just let it blow in however it blows in, and then they just leave it there. More seasoned more seasoned raters will actually go in, and they will manipulate the information and organize it in a clear, concise way for the veteran, so that way it's more palpable, easily to digest. So just keep that in mind. What do we have another one? Hold on. MCM 549. No, we don't. MCM 549. 49. Sorry, it's hard to get my spot back. I submitted 4138. The VA wrote back and said that the remarks field was blank. I checked the upload on Quick Submit and the remarks field was fine. Did they just feel like punting? Yes, they just felt like punting. I would submit it back and I would probably just resubmit it again. It might be that there was a corruption in the VBMS upload. Maybe not your upload, but when the VBMS uploaded it, that might be yeah, that might be why. Mr. Ray, I will have to look at your email. Let me write that down. I'm actually writing it down. So review Mr. Ray's email. I've kind of turned the email off, Mr. Ray. So I'm not really answering any questions with it anymore because people are trying to send me stuff for malware, and there's some people just attacking my email currently, so I can't do much for it. Hi, GC Jarhead. Thank you for being on mobile. You're out on the town tonight. That's good. You don't have to be. Don't worry. I think MCM's got any kind of, if there's anybody that wants to have a sideways issue with us, I think we got it handled tonight. So let me find some more questions. I'm looking at questions. Somebody had asked me about American medical experts earlier, and I put out a generic answer for that. So I'm not going to be going too much deep into that because I cannot attest for every single examiner within every single DBQ company type thing. I don't know them. I don't know anything about them. So do you think the VA is intentionally incentivizing VSRs to schedule exams to combat private DBQs? No. I think that they are incentivizing VSRs to get exams so that way veterans get exams, because even if it's wrong, it's better that the veteran got an exam versus didn't get an exam, is how the VA looks at it. Every veteran getting an exam at the very least means that nobody can say that they didn't. I know it's stupid. It's not any kind of logic. It's just we can at least check a box that we did the thing that we said that we were going to do with the duty to assist. That's kind of my interpretation of it. April 25th, currently in higher level review for TERA. Will DRO apply my PFAS exposure listed in my September memo? I don't know. So that's going to, like, if you did an informal conference, that's going to be something that you want to make sure that you talk to them about and explain to them specifically December 4th, 2025, that change in the manual means that the PFAS should be considered. Here's my evidence. Please make sure that we consider that. Mike, that would be mental health. I'm reading the more recent comments. Thank you, Jason. I am going to say something here. Oh, sorry, Salty Old Marine. We'll talk to you later. I want to say something real quick. Now, somebody made a comment earlier, and I'm going to tell you that, like, I'm a fan of the golden rule. Okay, I'm a deep believer in the golden rule. If you come at me nice, I come at you nice. You come at me sideways, I will lose my collective shit on you. Okay? I am a nice, fair, objective person. We can disagree. Now, this has to do with the comment that somebody made. And this is the thing. I will bend over backwards for anybody that is respectful. You don't have to kiss my butt. You don't have to do anything like that. You just got to treat me with respect. I'll treat you with respect. Everybody is respectful. Okay. And I will tell you right now that if you come to me sideways, there's a reason why I put the poll out, is because my TBI prevents me from sometimes making logical decisions, right? Rational decisions. I have to sometimes, like, I'm good at logical and reasoning, but emotional decisions, when you piss me off, I have to kind of put that in the freezer and let that sit for a little while. So I put out that poll saying, hey, look, if disruptive people are going to be on the channel, what am I going to do about it? And 95% of the people, okay, 95% of people said that, let's handle it with getting rid of disruptive people. So let's just be honest with ourselves here. If you attack me personally, okay, it is a privilege to be able to comment on the videos. It is a privilege to be able to comment here. I do not take kindly to having personal attacks. So this is my official warning. If you mess with me, I'm just going to mute you. I'm just going to permanently just ban you. Now, not because you disagreed with me, but if you make it personal, okay, that's the caveat. If you attack me personally, I'm going to hit back, and I've got a bigger hammer, right? I got a bigger stick. So just keep that in mind, okay? Now, I'm not an authoritarian. Don't make me have to be like this. If you want to disagree, we can disagree in a professional manner. Fine with that. It's when you, it's when you make it personal. I mean, because I had to go back into the comment and actually edit my comment because I was not very nice. Because, the military did not issue me nice feelings. Okay. They issued me something else. And then sarcasm, I was over issued sarcasm. I've got over my exceeding sarcasm. So I just want to point that out. And it's part of the reason why I turned on you have to be a subscriber to comment. Now there's no delay on that. But yeah, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I've tried, as the channel grows larger, we're going to obviously get more negative people potentially, or people that disagree with me. And I don't mind disagreement, like I said, but if I fly off the handle, you have to do a lot to make me fly off the handle, to be quite honest with you. So, I mean, yeah. I'm not talking about Jason at all. No, I'm not at all. Like, I'm not. That's not. There was a different person that just kind of said some stuff, and I'm like, and I confronted him on it. And I'm like, do you want to be here? Like, you don't have to. Like, nobody's forcing you to watch. Nobody's forcing you to listen. And I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you what the issue was. It was about my most recent video, and they said that the VA examiners do not get paid to do C&P exams, in which I'm going to cry bullshit on that. Don't like the VA, like the veteran community has enough bullshit that is spread time throughout all directions of just misinformation, right? And I've swearing a lot more than I should be on this, but there's so much misinformation out there that if you're going to populate and like just push misinformation, I'm not having any of that. So let's be real. VA examiners get paid. Private providers who fill out DBQs get paid. Nobody ever does this for free. There is no fact pattern for that. Okay. I'm rated 100% for sarcasm, disabled Ronin. But there is no such world event or whatever you want to say where VA examiners don't get paid to do these. No, they do get paid. They get paid handsomely, which is kind of the reason why it pisses me off, is that they get paid so much money to do these exams. And sometimes at the most, there's phoning it in, and then there's sometimes what they do. And that's the part that upsets me, is that, some people say that the private DBQ option should go away. Well, I'm a big proponent of the private DBQ option because I personally see on a day-to-day basis how often VA C&P examiners phone stuff in. Like, just phone it in. They're on autopilot. They aren't even trying. Like, like that's why you'll see your stuff get deferred back and back and back and back. It's because sometimes, not all the time, not every time, I'm not using absolutes, but sometimes these guys just phone it in. And that's true throughout the entire process. You'll have people that just, I don't know if they're having a bad day or whatnot, but they're just on autopilot. They're just phoning that stuff in. And I get the fact that people can dislike fraud when it happens. But you know what? Statistically, fraud isn't there. I mean, it is to some degree, but it's not to the degree of the fantasy land that some people want to make it out to be, to where they want to discontinue private DBQs. I mean, this person upset me. Not because they got to me, but it was and I'm just going to try to be nice here. It was the intellectually devoid argument that C&P examiners don't get paid. Sure. I mean, why? Yeah, okay. Not true. So if you're going to perpetuate a lie, not on my watch, my friend. So don't call what I say bullshit. That they do get paid, because everybody knows they got paid. We just saw a congressional meeting on it. There was a congressional hearing on how much the C&P examiners get paid, and they get bonuses for the low quality work that they're putting out. And nope, not today, Satan. Anyway, let's get back to something else. But I just want to say, like, don't be scared because I'm like, hey, look, he's threatening to, take disciplinary, threatening to mute people. No, I'm not threatening anything. People are behaving in a certain way. And if you want to behave that certain way and you want to poke me, I'm not the one you want. Like, don't come onto my channel, start talking shit about me. I will retaliate. Okay, let's get back to something more productive. How difficult is it to claim migraine secondary to cervical bulging discs? I would say it's going to depend on the evidence that you have. If like your medical, like if your neurologist believes that that's the cause, like yes, it is the F around and find out situation. Yes, with me. Sorry. But anyway, so I would say it's as difficult as the evidence that you have. So if your neurologist believes that your migraines are caused by your cervical disc bulging, that's probative evidence. If you're just cold talking and saying that I think that my migraines are secondary to my cervical bulging disc, that is a high hill to climb without any evidence to support that. Okay, so what I'm saying is has a low statistical probability of success if you don't have supporting evidence. Okay. And lifestyle changes, I'm still waiting for those new videos, sir. I am subscribed to your channel because I liked your videos. And I'm not saying that just to say that. I mean that. I watched them. So, Raider, are you guys back to work on Monday? Does the VBA work the weekends currently? I can't speak for every regional office. And I don't know you'd have to be more specific in your, like, what specific group are you talking about? Because some people work on weekends, some people work on holidays, overtime type thing. Like, I don't know. It just depends. Are FOIA so slow because of their priority? I think, no, I'm not going to say priority has to do with it. I think it has to do with the volume of requests versus the number of people who are doing the request versus the size of the individual document pull that is required. I think that the system for FOIA needs an overhaul. And I think that the system for FOIA is not built like it is I think it's being used to get records. It's like you're using something not the way it was intended to be used. Like FOIA was meant to be not for this. And we need a system that gives veterans their records without having to do a FOIA request. Like the Freedom of Information Act was not made to give veterans their records. So you're kind of square peg round holing FOIA to try to do something that every veteran wants to have done naturally. Like upon discharge, we should all be given a copy of our medical records. I don't understand this. Like it makes me weirded out. Eric, please don't like my channel because I'm just angry sometimes. Like I'm a human being, right? Like I'm like anybody else. I don't like, I'm here for the information, to be honest with you, but I mean, there is the F around and find out with me. And not because of like I'm on a power trip or anything like that. I hate that more than anything else. It's just that some people, like you go onto the internet, you find some people that are nice and you find some people that are just, the people that piss me off. And it happens sometimes. I mean, it's not anything bad. Old service connected back. I did. Oh, is that the one that was, was that the question? Oh, yeah. There's, what is it? The 89, there's a form for TDIU. I've lost it, but I think it's the 8940 form or 2680. I have to look it up because I get those confused. 2680 form. Somebody else is going to probably go out. Now it's the 8940. VA form 21-8940 for that, for TDIU. Hey, Raider. Hey, all. Hey, you. Hey, me. Good evening, Doc. Doc's hitting it. Raider Nation. And yes, I will be calling you. I will be giving you a phone call relatively soon. I forgot to call you, so I will be calling. That is going to happen. Was your comment skipped? Post it again. I'll try to get to it. It gets skipped. Okay, so guys, what happens is with StreamYard, if I go to the starred comments, which are the people like donate money or something like that, it organizes all those in that area, and whenever I click on that, it takes me, it loses my place. If I could make one change to StreamYard, I wish it would keep my place where I was whenever I went over to the starred comments. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do the starred comments as I come to them, so that way I don't miss anybody. I think that's probably the better way to do that. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write that down like a professional. Just here, I'll write it down like I'm writing. I'll tell you what I'm writing down. Just go in order, stupid. That's what I wrote. Just go in order. Okay. So, good evening, Jarheads, Dr. Fellow Vets. Good evening to you too. Fam man, I swear, you're going to have to send that 4-parter to me because you're killing me. Like, I can't, the system will not let me skip around for the parts. I can't do it. So please just send me an email. I'll break my own rule on that. And I'll just come across, I'm just going straight down the line here. And then at the end of it, if I haven't answered the starred comments or like the people paid money to thing, I'll get to that at the end of the live stream and just do them all at one time. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Headaches, migraines under the same rating umbrella. I already answered that. They can be set. Well, okay. Headaches can be part of a different disability, but if you have headaches and migraine, they'll both be granted under 8100 and combined together if there's no other symptom to link it to, like sinusitis is a good one to link the symptom. And yes, I think everyone should hit the like and subscribe button. if the point system is so annoying because no matter how good my independent medical opinion DBQ is, seems as though the VSR will send it for a review. So that's only one half the equation, old nuke. There's the other half of the equation is you got some bitter sons of beesness that sometimes they don't like, they feel the same way that that person that I was talking about earlier that I had a disagreement with. Sometimes people feel like every single private DBQ, because you paid money for it, you paid money for fraud. You can't convince them otherwise. It's the take the, like, you can show them how wrong they are, you can prove them wrong, and they do not care. That is something that they will go, like, that is the hill they want to die on, is that that is just nothing but fraud. How dare you? When it's like these people are making a medical determination, you know, and you have to treat the process neutrally. So you have to treat it like it's objective. They didn't pay for a fraudulent thing. Like, I don't know where this fraud thing comes from and this Captain Save-A-Ho nonsense where they want to be the one to prevent fraud. Like, I'm here standing in the way of the fraud, you know, protecting society and the taxpayer dollar. Like, please don't do that. That's not what you were hired for. You know, like, I don't know. I don't understand why people are like that, but it's not their job. TDIU, what if formerly self-employed? There's a section in the manual for self-employment for TDIU. I'll probably have to go over that in a different video, to be quite honest with you. Da, 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 da. Before my time, like, well before my time, like before 2016 type thing. Yeah. So it doesn't require it because what they have now, Doc, is they have it to where it's kind of the stepping stone to where you can go to the call center and be like a GS um, 789, and then you transition over to being a VSR after that for the 7 9 10 type thing, GS level pay scale. So it's more about like, and this is the problem that I have with it, is that as long as you were in the prior GS level of the job description for over a year, you can be doing anything. You could be a food handler and get the VSR position, which I'm not against, but it's also not the, it's not really stacking the deck for VSRs and raters for people that are qualified, you know, having like legitimate skills associated with it. And a lot of the times they do that because you know, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my sister. There's so much nepotism in the VBA, it's unreal. Makes me want to just say bad things. I made $50 one year working as a Hollywood extra while on TDIU. The VA knew and sent me a hate mail for making dollars. Well, and it, okay. I mean, like, they shouldn't have sent you hate mail because you got to make over the poverty level for a single adult. And that's like, I mean, it depends on what year you're talking about, but that's still like currently like 14, 15,000. Yes, please hit the like. Raider, glad you're staying kind of undercover. The salty Marine had someone take out his back window. It could be somebody else. Well, I mean, like, look, ah, I don't believe anybody would do that because I am legitimately crazy. So, like, nobody wants to have a crazy off with me. I'm not Billy Badass or anything like that, but if somebody wants to be crazy, I definitely am at the front of that damn line if they need me to be. Um, but I'm just saying, like, look, I'm not here to win the internet. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to be popular. I'm just here to provide information because I feel like there's a void here. You know, back in the military, you know, you had your, you know, you do the right thing when nobody else is looking. I mean, I had the Army values, but every single branch has their own values, but they're often similar. You know, you do the right thing even when nobody's looking. And this is my do the right thing. Okay. This is my trying to help out, because I look around and I see all the bullshit. Tonight's a swearing night. I see all the bullshit that a lot of people put out on YouTube on their videos. They're like, "Oh man, you wouldn't believe it. They're gonna do this and they're gonna do that and they're gonna whatever." And I'm like, evidenced by what? Show something. You can have an opinion about something and be like, "Hey, look, there's this bill coming out and they're possibly gonna do something." Fair enough. That's not vaporware. Like that doesn't just disappear into smoke. Beyond your own personal opinion. And I just it yeah, and Salty did say that it was probably a kid with a pellet gun, but I mean, I get the thing, right? And there is a vulnerability here to putting yourself out there, for the veteran community. So just keep that in mind, guys, is that there is a potential vulnerability for us doing this. So yeah, could somebody be weird? Yes. Could somebody, stalk a person? Yes. Does it make my anxiety disorder go off? Yes. Because it's just weird. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just, I guess, the price of doing business. What about 10% hip disability reducing ability to work out and causing OSA? So, Fruto Life, 10% is not like, it's not that probative in terms of like how limiting it is. Typically what happens with examiners whenever they review for that is they're like, okay, could they have gotten in a pool and still worked out? Well, like how impairing is this? Can they still walk around? Can they still do this? Can they still do that? Typically, if you have multiple joints, that's whenever they start to go, okay, I can kind of see why they would be impaired to the point of gaining weight, right? And I mean, I know some of you guys got kids, so I don't like swearing because, you never know when a kid's going to walk in. And I don't put the parental advisory on. So I'm sorry for that. But I would say that just the hip disability, one single hip alone at 10% would probably not be enough to do it. You'd probably need more stuff. I'm not a doctor on that, Fruit of Life, but I'm just saying from what I've seen over time, the way that examiners review stuff can be weird. They like to see high percentages. So, like, if you had a knee at like 30%, they'd be like, "Oh, shoot, I can understand that." Versus a knee at 10%, they're like, "Yeah, that's just painful motion. Just hurts a little bit. Walk through it." I don't know if you've had those jackass examiners or even private or VA doctors that are like, "Oh, your shoulder hurts? Then use it more. It wouldn't hurt so much if you used it more." And it's like, wow, wow, wow. Where's the patient advocate again? But yeah, so oftentimes you can get that that kind of bias against you. So I'm saying that it has a percent chance, but it's a lower percent chance. Yeah, so this one, I'm going to say honestly that this one would be reviewed under the mental, or under the probably the respiratory. It could go either way, honestly. It could go respiratory, or it could go mental health, but it will depend on the interpretation of the VSR. So if you have a specific way you want it to go, Julie, then you need to add evidence to support that. You need to tell the VSR what it is. It is a respiratory condition or it is a mental health condition. Okay. So if you don't do that, then they will pick for you and you don't want that. Okay. I believe that, Doc. I believe that. You say smart things, Doc. Jeez. All right. So some of these are not questions, but yeah. What is the best way to get approved for aid and attendance? So the best way to get approved for aid and attendance after denial will depend on your specific evidence. Okay. The majority of my answers are going to come down to that on these topics, guys. So don't think I'm just going to go, the answer's 7, but oh man, starting with the fatty liver in the chat. It's killing me. So the best way to get approved for aid and attendance is to basically review the denial decision, see if they specifically listed anything as to why they didn't believe you. And I'll be honest, aid and attendance, you have to prove why your disability prevents you specifically from doing a specific activity for daily living, and why another human being has to come in and do that particular role for you. So you need a doctor to basically state that. And that didn't come across the first time. So you need to have another doctor state, or the same doctor double down on it and say, okay, they physically cannot do this particular job. Like the veteran has to use a walker in order to walk and to stand. And if the veteran has to have both hands on the walker, then they cannot cook their own food or get their own laundry out of the thing because they will fall down. Something to that effect. I mean, whatever your truth is or the facts are. I have a claim for TBI during service. Recently had a TBI exam. Now the VA is sending me for an audiology appointment, mental health appointment, and neurological TBI. Is this normal? Yes, this is normal. And the reason why it's normal is because TBI can have residuals that are not within the neurological body system. It can cause other issues like dizziness, and that's in the audiology / peripheral vestibular disorder. It can also have mental health consequences. So because TBI affects numerous body systems, you can have these additional examinations. So I hope that that answers that question. Down dog. This is a very bizarre question. Can you get rated for 300 multiple leg movements from my VA sleep study? I would change the way that you word that to, can I get rated for restless leg syndrome secondary to my sleep apnea? The answer is maybe if you get both diagnosed and sleep apnea is service connected. Restless leg syndrome gets rated under 8520, the diagnostic code for sciatica, and it is something that can be rated. Yes, restless leg syndrome, Jolly Ranch. So that's the DC code for that is 8520. That's how it gets rated. But yeah, it's something that can be. Yeah, I've seen it. Part 2 on TBI is coming in the future. I don't know. It's going to be hard. I don't like putting out less than, I want to say perfect, but the most well known stuff. So I have to actually get with somebody that's a TBI SME in order to get the behind the scenes SOP for it to see how it's rated. So that's why that's been kind of waiting. Why does FOIA? I explained that earlier. We're good. The most profound statement of the night. I agree. Being a U.S. Navy preventative medicine technician, I knew the COVID jabs were poison. Many in my family didn't take my educated advice. Yeah, I don't know on that. I took it after I got COVID. I nearly died on COVID. So it's kind of a personal pet peeve of mine. I wish I would have gotten the shot beforehand because I got a COVID a second time after the shot, and I didn't need to go to the hospital for that one. So it is different for everyone. I can't, it's a hot button topic, so I'm not going to touch it. To be honest with you. Insomnia, mental health. Thank you, Jason. And the salty old Marine says he's dipping in and out. No, there's no need to be sorry. You do you. It's okay. And I really like the live stream. So I missed I didn't have my notifications turned on, so I'm a bad boy. This is me slapping my own hand. I did not have your notifications turned on. I did not have the bell turned on. So I missed your live stream, but I did see that stupid ad for that claim company on your like on the video, the non-live stream video of the live stream. And that just weirded me out. Like, I'm kind of a weird person normally, but it did weird me out to see a claims company on there because, and I'm going, no, Doc Shelley, don't apologize. You're fine. It's fine. It's fine. But I'll agree on anthrax, guys. That one's a killer. But they almost killed me with they all see. I'm kind of hold on, hold on. So I'm kind of susceptible to I share Doc Shelley's statements on the H1N1 vaccine because they nearly killed me with that one. That one nearly killed me. I had anaphylaxis due to the H1N1 vaccine. So I get the whole vaccine thing. I get it. Like, but just not on that one. Not on COVID. I get it on H1N1. So I have a different perspective. But back to the salty old Marines thing. I'm sorry. The pursuit of neutrality for me is almost obsessive at this point in time. Like, I want to be neutral and I don't want to like contribute to what I see are some of the problems with the YouTube community on this whole like, hi, I'm going to talk to you about something serious, but first I want to talk to you about my hemorrhoid cream. Like type thing. I don't know about that. I just everybody like and anybody look, people can make money. This can be a job for them. This is not a job for me. So that's why I get to be a little bit more cynical about it, is because some people, this is their job. This is their day job. It's not my day job. So, but I just found it to be quite, I found it to be kind of like that better not be happening to me thing whenever that claims company thing came up on Salty, because I could see disingenuous claims companies piggybacking on like the salty old Marine and just being like, yeah, I'm just going to post all my ads on his channel to, piggyback on him, or some of the high, because we're small YouTube channels, like we're not big YouTube channels. So there's people with like 100,000 viewers and subscribers and all that stuff where they could piggyback on the backs of them for legitimacy and just get, it would be good marketing on their behalf, because they'd have a lot of veteran specific traffic and that's their demographic. So I don't know. I'm not going to fret too much on that, but chronic lung diagnosis, 5 tumors so far, service in 80s, 90s, worked as a submariner, chem lab, hazardous waste coordinator, battery, electrolyte, radcon, rad barrier guard. Okay, so dosimeter use. Yeah, it's good to try to file for TERA. Yes, that is perfect. Yes. And guys, if you get for those that have donated money with a question, I will get to those, I promise. Hey Raider, here's a question. Arnold, would you like to know who's your daddy and what does he do? Come on, it's too easy. You can be my buddy. I don't know. Weird. During my C&P exam for migraines, I was diagnosed with migraines for favorable findings. Any reason why my VHA PCP might not want to add it to my overall list of diagnosis? Because they don't talk to each other. Just to be honest with you, they don't honestly talk to each other. So, and the C&P examiner might have come to a different conclusion diagnostically than your primary care provider type thing. Like the two of them do not have to agree on everything. And that sometimes can work in your favor and sometimes it can work against you. Like if the examiner rewrites history sometimes, like that can happen, let's see here. How do you weigh a private independent medical exam versus a C&P if the spine specialist independent medical exam has diagnosed range of motion and at least as likely as not opinion, but the template calls it a compulsory exam? Is that just a typo or a red flag? It's not a red flag, but I will tell you right now that spine range of motion, you don't need an independent medical exam for that. You can just have the what do you call it? The like just go to a normal exam. I mean, you have Ingram v. Collins now for any time that pain medication uh, extends, makes your range of motion better. You can fight with that. You can do flare ups. To be honest with you, flare ups can be uh, a mechanism to show limitation of range of motion, but specialist, like, it doesn't require a specialist to do a range of motion review, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Can an in-service MST be connected to a schizophrenia spectrum disorder that developed from PTSD psychosis? Yes, George. That is something that can be medically so with reverence and respect, I'm going to talk about this topic briefly. I will not get too deep into it because I do not want to trigger anybody that is currently watching the live stream. But the way that I will say this is that there are sometimes when individuals that are predisposed for schizophrenia, that there can be a trigger event, and MST is obviously a qualifying trigger event for that. So there can, as long as the condition manifested in service, like the schizophrenia manifested in service or within a year after service, that's helpful to the service connection. If it manifested much later in life, then it can be still connected, so don't worry about it. DBQ and independent medical opinion disregarded by Dr. Sharma, but they still approved service connection and might increase. This last submission, I followed your advice and submitted the personal statement explaining why I used him again and got 100%. Well, congrats. I mean, congrats on the 100%, guys. Let's thank Char. Well, let's congratulate Char on the 100%. I know I'm a little bit late to the party on that because at 6:10, you guys, about 30 minutes ago, you did this. You guys celebrated it. I'm really late on the questions, and I'm sorry. So, let's go. Scroll down here. I got a video that I'm going to be putting out tomorrow in which I'm going to be invoking invoking the E4 Mafia. All the E4 Mafia is going to be summoned tomorrow in the video because, and I'm going to be talking about this. I want evidence. I want you guys to tell me how you got your exam requests. Who successfully did it and how? I need to know. So tomorrow's video that will be put out, I've already pre-recorded it, we'll be asking all of you to submit only questions, only comments in the video of times in which you successfully got your C&P examination request document and how. I want to know how. I want to know because here's the problem. Okay, guys. The problem is some of us know how to do something some of the time. Some of us know how to do something successfully a lot of the time. And I want to make it to where all of us know how to do something successfully a lot of the time. So I don't know the answer to that. And the E4 Mafia has been invoked. I'm pulling Raider privilege on this, and I am invoking the E4 Mafia on tomorrow's video that we're going to figure out how, because I don't have all the answers on stuff, right? We need to come together on this because we're only like 1 or 2 people away from like, hey, I found out that this worked. And now every time I get a comment on that video, I'm going to research it. But sometimes I don't know what I don't know. So I need the community to help. Okay. I do need a Discord server, but I swear to all that is holy, I'm not very tech savvy, and I could not, in for the life of me, support answering questions there. My fingers would fall off. Okay. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. The E4 Mafia has its ways. Okay, let's keep going. Sure. T-Bird, you can send me an email. I mean, God, everybody can send me an email technically, but whether or not I'm going to answer is a completely another response because it steals my soul with how many times that I have. I don't have time. Time is a luxury that I do not have. USMCH or U.S. Marine Corps Heinz, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. We're getting to the specialty chats now. A friend was just scheduled for an ACE exam after he claimed migraines and PTSD. Makes sense. ACE exam for migraines, yes. ACE exam for PTSD is not allowed. So if he got an ACE exam for both of them, it's technically not allowed for PTSD unless it's a subsequent exam that they're trying to fix something. H-Town, hey, I'm trying to find your I need to get on I've been waiting 5 days because you have subscriber wait time on yours. So I was going to go to your live stream and just comment on your live stream next time you have one. So I've just been waiting on the 5-day cooldown. I did not decide to do the 5-day cooldown on mine. Happy holidays, Raider. Thank you for all you do to help vets. When filing for an increase for insomnia, what evidence, in your opinion, has the most probative value? So I hate to be that guy, but if you go to my video about mental health, you will see that the difference between 30%, 50%, 70% has to do with the check boxes in the symptom section. So the best advice that I can give is download the mental health DBQ, go through the symptoms section, check the boxes that you believe that you have, provide examples, real world examples, true examples that have happened in the last 3-4 months. Was somebody ACE is acceptable clinical evidence. That's what the ACE exam means, acceptable clinical evidence. And what it means is that they have the option to, if they have enough medical evidence and they don't need to call you, then they can do that. But typically they call you. No, you didn't miss something, MCM. I miss stuff all the time. No, and the attack didn't happen just now. It was in the video that I put out today. So, and don't go to that person and freak out on them because they get to choose how they behave. I don't want anybody to play the victim. So don't razz them. Nope, did not have it happened in the video today, but not here. I remember there was a live stream where leaving money on the table was discussed. Will be discussed in the next. Why are you on my desk, Luna? Luna's on my desk, currently looking me in the face, and you what? You want me to talk about you for a minute? Okay, hold on. Don't destroy my desk, guys. I might have to go here in a minute. These puppies might need to go outside or get dinner. So I will be. I'll give it like 15 more minutes, and I will be discussing all of the paid comments too. So leaving money on the table, was that ever discussed? I think I was talking about your benefits. Oh, Jesus. Okay. That's great. That's very informative. I think what I was talking about was your dependents and the fact of double checking things like, are my dependents accurate? Am I claiming my parents? Like, a lot of people don't know that you can claim your parents as the veteran, not your spouse's parents, but your parents on your award. And it's a couple $100 here and there. I know Luna got me. I'm still wiping stuff. Actually, hold on. Luna got me. So what I would say, that's what I think I was talking about at the time. I did think I put out a video on that, or I at least discussed it during the live stream, where there's a lot of times when there are additional ancillary benefits like SMCs and whatnot, and different things like making sure that your dependents are accurate, because the VA will not go, oh, I see that, like, I see that you have another 2 children. I care about that. Like, they don't do that. Like, they expect you to do it, and there's no back pay for that. So even though we all know that you have these children for a long time, oh no, Disrobe, that is not true. Well, okay. There's 2 different ways that you can do that, and that one that you're talking about is true. But you can, like, there's a different way where you give some of your money to your family member. There's 2 different routes for that. And because my mom is on my benefit, okay? So I'm just going to be, yeah, she did slam me. So I'm just telling you that, like, there's 2 different routes for it. If your family member is completely destitute versus does your family member receive some money from you? And you can get both. Really, you're going to knock your toy across the ground right now. You know what? I don't negotiate with terrorists, so you know what? We're not doing this. I'm going to continue on. Yeah, you can make all the noise you want. I don't care. Nope, you can do it. I don't care. And correct, I wasn't talking about you with that. Let me see here. This is the coming at Raider thing. And they do. I'm lurking. Overwatch. VA examiners suck. Okay, let me just see. Justin Johnson, thank you for becoming a member. Yay. And Luna is a rock star. Luna is great. And then Luna barks. But that is true. Just boot one bad one Raider. And I'm going to do that. Like, that's what's going to happen here. Like, I mean, it is F around and find out pretty soon. And I will, and here's the thing. I am not unreasonable. So if you disagree with me, I would never kick somebody for a dissenting opinion. But if you make it personal, I'll make it personal. And I have a bigger stick. So that's just how that is. Because I can agree, like, wow, that sucks. Like, I can meet the other person halfway. I can do anything like that. That's fine. But what's the best approach to apply for remote VA jobs? This is going to be challenging to answer this, but obviously go through the keywords that are listed and make sure that there's an automated system that reviews the job applications for the keywords. So it is good to regurgitate the same keywords in your resume. It is also a good idea to put a timeline on things. So I did this job from this time to this time, and provide a date, and also GS level if you're like a prior federal service employee. But it's always good to say, I did this job duty from this time to this time, because they like to know specifically how long that you did it. And yes, USA Jobs is a perfect place to go. I don't know if I answered this. Thank you for helping vets. I think I did. Increase in insomnia. Yeah, I already did. I answered this one. I'm looking for other questions. Let's look for other questions. I know, Luna. Oh, well, I mean, okay, GC Jarhead, I did delete one of the comments. I deleted my comment too because I kind of flew off the handle and made it personal too, so I had to edit my comment. But I mean, I'm I mean, I don't like being mad. I like being a happy person, as happy as I can humanly be, which, my wife and kids would be like, "Oh, that's happy? Oh yeah, no, you're happy. No, that's totally happy." Um, but yeah. So, and if they do it again, then you have every right to just cut it off because we have enough toxicity on the internet and we don't need more, and we don't need me getting more toxic or anything like that. How close are we to the 10,000 mark? Well, that we are at 9,431. So we're actually doing quite well. I mean, honestly, guys, I thought and this is just kind of, I'll take a few minutes since Luna has given me a reprieve. I honestly thought I'd have about 500 people by now. So this is a pleasant surprise. 9,431 subscribers it's kind of surreal, right? It lets me know that I'm getting the message out there. Now you guys can disagree with the message, that's fine. Some people have found it to be helpful, and I don't take credit for anything. Like if you guys got 100% because you listened to something I said, it's because your evidence got you there, not because I said it. That's one of the things where sometimes the people that are bad actors in the world will take credit for things that they have no control over. And so I try really hard not to take credit for things I have no control over because I don't want to be disingenuous. I don't know. Does that make sense? Jesus. Mother Foxtrot. If their true intention is to get you, Raider, to mention them on here, then they won or objective accomplished. Except I didn't mention them. I don't identify people that piss me off. Like I just whatever. And if their goal is to here's the thing where some people, I don't know, some people like it when I get fired up. I don't know. But the goal is here's where the failure would come in, Robert. If I change the way I am because of them, right? Like think about it like a terrorist. If you change your behaviors due to terrorism, then they've won. But if I maintain the standard of, look, I will hammer you if if you want to be a nail, I will hammer you. So it's your choice. Then that's on them. I'm still going to put out good content every single day. I'm not going to not put out content. So they can't win. They can't win by making me put out bad content, and they can't win by making me, take a side or take money for, hey, come down to John's, car wash, type thing. Like they're not going to make me do that. So blows my mind, private route or not, the examiner is getting paid. Yeah, and that's true. Like there's no fantasy where the examiner's not getting paid for the stuff that's going on. It's just not. It's not. But, and let me see here. Is there anything else? I'm going to scroll through these. Now, this is where I'm going to probably start skipping comments. So, First John, this is the part right here. I'm going to say it. The comments that start at 6 minutes and 17 seconds, First John, this is where I'm going to start skipping around. So when you do your review of this. Fraud in most VA claims is at least as likely as not to throw the spaghetti at the wall. I don't think it's fraud. I just think it's it boggles my mind that when somebody says there's no possibility that jet fuel could cause tinnitus, and then I've rated jet fuel positive to tinnitus, jet fuel positively causing tinnitus 700 times before that. Like it makes no sense to me. Like it honestly makes no scientific sense. And that's where what's good for the gander is good for the goose. Now you can say that this veteran, and specifically this veteran's tinnitus is caused by something else. Fair enough. But you can't say that tinnitus can't be caused by X, Y, and Z if I have granted X, Y, and Z causing tinnitus historically. That should be thrown back in the face of the examiner every single time. Like the VA needs to come out and say, hey, look, either this is possible or it's not possible. Now, if it is possible, it can be possible for veterans in this category or this circumstance situation, but maybe not in this circumstance. But it is technically possible. Like this veteran could have IBS. However, due to chemical exposure to so-and-so. However, their IBS is better explained due to their diverticulitis. Fair enough. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Maybe some people want me to swear, actually. Maybe that's what they are. Maybe that's what they're getting me to swear. Now, I like to swear. Don't force me to have a good time. Now I'm going to skip around on some of these comments. I'm going to try to get down here to where maybe we have some really yeah. You're not PMT because now you're going to make me look this up. Okay, let's do this. I got a calculator here. Hold on. You're going to make me look it up. So we've got, it honestly depends on what those 10, 20, okay, lower, right, 10. It depends on if they're the bilateral factor on this, Rodney. It depends on what they truly are. So if it's like 70 plus 30 plus, you can get some bonus points for bilateral factor. I'm just going to do some calculations here. Because you might be at like 94% with that if they're not upper and lower. 20. I'm going to do lower leg, 20. Right lower leg, hell of it, 20. And then a 10 and a 10 and a 10. I think you're at 94%, to be honest with you. With that. The cancer, I've removed the cancer from the equation, but yeah, I think you should be 100% without that. I mean, honestly, that math lines up with 100%. So here's the thing, Rodney. I would go to a VSO, I would have them pull it up, I'd have them review it, and then I would ask, like sometimes you can ask for permanency. I might claim permanency. I would like a review for permanency based upon all of my other disabilities. So the condition that you would be claiming is permanency, total and permanent. And see if they'll rate you total and permanent independent of the cancer. Number one, I'm sorry that you have cancer. That is the worst thing ever. So, my heart goes out to you. I hope things get better with that. But I think, yes, you should be able to get permanency, total and permanency with what you just reported right there. So I might claim total and permanency. It's a thing. Now let's look for molto importante questions. FOIA. Luna's mad. I think I already answered that. I think I answered that. Let's go here. ATC subscriber. Raider submitted 4 claims this month. I want to say that that's major depressive disorder, MDD, not MOD. But who knows? OSA secondary to hypertension, migraines, arthritis, mental health, supplemental claim, hearing loss. Dad, I'll get it. Thank you. Please, you are probably going to get a clarification contact for arthritis if you did not put the specific joint that you were talking about. I hope you get it too. Sometimes, like what you claim, the theories that you choose matter the most on this. OSA secondary to hypertension will require a lot of science, so just keep that in mind. Migraines, depending on how you claim it. I hope everything turns out. I mean, we're still hopefully in a good set of months. Oh, I want to talk about something funny. So I'm going to be probably not answering too many questions moving right in this live stream, but I want to talk about something. I was watching Dwayne Kimball's one of his live streams, and somebody asked him about the quality burn type thing. They were like, "Is there a better month to claim a claim?" And he said, and he started talking about how the end of the year review happens. So the answer is yes. So you heard one of the questions based upon one of my videos on Dwayne Kimball's channel. So that made me laugh. Do you think 38 4.7 holds weight for a higher level review? Okay. 38 CFR 4.7 holds absolute weight during a higher level review. But 4.7 has to do with the combining of disabilities together. And that would have nothing to do with how you're rated for something, especially in mental health. Mental health is based upon symptoms and not diagnosis. So it'll be in his next book. Oh, I'm going straight for the throat, Jarhead. So on this one right here, for this question, diagnosis, it won't hold any weight on a higher level review. 4.7 will not, because diagnosis has nothing to do with how you're rated for mental health. You could have schizophrenia, you could have adjustment disorder. Doesn't matter, has nothing to do with how you're rated. Mental health is exclusively about the symptoms. So 4.7 will not play into that, okay? Let me see here. And I agree. Too much attention is being placed upon private DBQs. The problem that I see and the problem that I have, though, with the current iteration is how many times I have to send it back because these jackwagons don't know what they're doing. They mess it up, right? They don't complete it accurately. And that's not necessarily their fault all the time. It could be due to the fact that the exam request wasn't accurate. It wasn't sufficient, right? That's what bothers me, is that there's so many different, like, at this stage the VA let you down, at this stage the VA let you down, at this stage the VA let you down. And sometimes it's just easier to go, look, let's cut the middleman out of this. I'm just going to submit my own DBQ and just submit it. And I believe in that option sometimes, as long as everything's true and accurate. No worries, fam, man. I'll try to get to it today or tomorrow. I feel like we've had, where I live, we've had a huge windstorm, and there's like a storm blowing in, and every time the barometric pressure changes, I just get a migraine. And I feel one coming on. So that's why I kind of recorded my stuff, is because for tomorrow, because I felt like I was having a migraine. Queen of Wands. Feel more knowledgeable and confident about the process with every video drop. Many thanks for demystifying the VBA, and blessings for the growth of your channel. Thank you, Queen of Wands. And look, guys, I'm not anything special, okay? I'm somebody that's semi-good at the job and semi-good, in my opinion, at explaining things. But there's no specialness about me. Like, I just wish that somebody else would have taken up the mantle before me. And there are some out there, like there's Even though I don't necessarily agree with the business model, but Dwayne does it, like people do it maybe for different reasons than me, but people are trying to put out the good message. And, like the salty Marine, the salty old Marine. I watched a video today on the salty Marine that was put out that I really, really liked. It was about what do you do after you get, 100%. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, no, this is what we need to have. But I'm telling you guys, like, I'm not special in this. I'm just trying to provide you with the basic information. Like I'm trying to train anybody else, right? Because I love training people. I'm trying to give you the information and the knowledge to be able to apply it. Now, sometimes that knowledge makes you go, oh, I guess there isn't a way I could be service connected for that. I'm not going to waste my time, the VA's effort, or my emotions on that. Or it could be, hey, look, they missed this, right? I mean, because education isn't necessarily going to mean that you get 100% 10 minutes from now. Like, even though some people have reported it, that they've gotten 100%. I mean, that's cool. But it's about the evidence, and it's about interpreting the evidence, and it's about doing all that stuff. But the salty Marine, the salty old Marine, they do a great job, guys. So yeah, give them thumbs up. Go watch them. Go subscribe to them. Hit the notification bell. I just I appreciate this Queen of Wands. Thank you for the donation. You don't have to do that. Nobody has to do that, right? Like it's a hobby, and it's something that to at least give me something to do. But banned from 1990 to 2022, the FDA prohibited anyone from spent 6 months or more in the U.S. military based in Germany between native from donated blood. That would be interesting. I would want to know why, like M1A1 tanker. I want to know why. Like, what's the chemical exposure? Love yourself. Raider HQ, CivDiv, Salty Marine, thank you all for your service and providing all veterans valuable service. And I forget to say the CivDiv on here. I mean, he's so big. That dude is so big and cool. I mean, he says nice things about me. So he's pretty cool. Like, I'll tell you one thing, and I've said this to his face, is that the CivDiv gets a lot of things right that a lot of people don't get right when it comes to the claims process. Now, and that man, from what he has said, just records his basement, which makes me laugh. But he's read everything, right? Like his knowledge wealth is not from having worked at the VA. So my hat is off to him, because he's actually dialed in a lot better than a lot of people. And for somebody that's never worked at the VA, that's actually impressive. So he does impress me. Do I think that what? Oh, mad cow. Crutchfeld-Jacobs disease. Is that what mad cow is? Mad cow is Crutchfeld-Jacobs disease. I know that. Don't ask me how I know that, but it's Crutchfeld-Jacobs disease is mad cow. Oof, that would be bad. Crutchfeld-Jacobs disease. Yeah, look it up. Google it. But let me see here. I'm going to try to scroll down a little bit more. Craig, Luna, get off the desk. Okay. I got to answer Craig's question. Stop licking my face. I have 2 independent medical opinions for a secondary condition, one from my neurologist and one from my nurse practitioner. Both are treating me. The nurse practitioner's independent opinion was way more probative, but both were good. Would someone submitting 2 independent medical opinions be a red flag? It wouldn't be a red flag, but there is a vulnerability here, Craig. And this is a very, very good question, okay? Because the vulnerability has to do with whether or not the medical evidence lines up exactly for the exact same theory. Like, what can happen with this is if the medical opinions are off, like they have different flavors of why it's secondary to so-and-so, it can create conflicting medical evidence that needs to be resolved. Now, guess what happens when they try to medically resolve it? They send it to a VA examiner. So you've got 2, like it sometimes can defeat the purpose. What might be better option is to submit the better of the 2. medical opinions. That might be Rudy, I like Dr. Barr's. I want to say Barr. I like his stuff. So Craig, that's my answer is I might actually pick one over the other just because sometimes if the medical opinions are a little too different, Defender, I don't know if Manila works on the weekends. I have no clue. I do know somebody that works there though, actually. They used to be my coach. Both MPs, yeah. So I think you should pick the stronger of the two, which might be the nurse practitioners. But that's medically the stronger of the two. You have to review their NPI numbers to make sure all their information match. You have to go through and do the authenticity and credibility review, Craig. So it's going to be a little bit, okay? Like you're going to have to do a little bit of research on this. Let's scroll down. Just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. And we're going to do here. Raider, out of the 04 VA diagnosed with traumatic arthropathy in ankle, patellofemoral pain syndrome out in 04. Okay, so sorry, let me reread this because my brain. So I got out in 2004. VA diagnosed me with traumatic arthropathy, which is probably arthritis in the ankle, patellofemoral stress syndrome, patellofemoral stress syndrome in my knee in 2012. Didn't know that I could claim it, infantry and airborne, but have no in-service treatment. Is it worth claiming? Okay, the airborne portion of this is actually intriguing to me. So if you have a parachutist badge on your DD-214, then that could be what is known as an event in service to satisfy element 2. So if you had jumps, like actual formal jumps in service, then sorry, I'm just reading something right here. Hey, Doc, what's with the caps? What's with the cap locks, man? That is yelling. But anyway, back to the question here. So, and first of all, thank you for the donation. You didn't have to do that. But you can use, if you're airborne and you did jumps, this is my advice. I would discuss the jumps as being the event in service, and describe, because you have to think most examiners were never in the service. So you have to give them an actual play-by-play of what it was. Because that is an event. Unlike, how I did the video on your boots are not, wearing combat boots is not an in-event service. Going on ruck marches are not in-event services because you don't have any documents to prove that you did them. However, if you have a parachutist badge, you need to, no, he doesn't need to go to timeout. Doc doesn't need to go to timeout. If you have a parachutist badge, then that is documented in service. That event is documented and proven in service. So it can act as an event in service. So I might talk about, number one, any ankle injuries related to parachute jumps, any knee injuries related to parachute jumps. Talk about why you might not have went into sick call for that, because they'd stop you from jumping out of parachutes, or out of planes. Sorry, it's getting late. And you'd have to also document what treatment and what your disability looked like from that time until 2012 or 2004. Okay. So that's what I might suggest for that. Okay. And then let's keep going. Just keep spinning. Just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. And MCM, thank you for the 5 membership gifts here. I appreciate that. More than you know. And then let's go down here and let's see if anything. Doc don't care. Yes, you're right. Doc doesn't care. All right, guys. It's about time. Luna is going to flip my table over. I know. I know. Look, I love you. Okay. We will be going outside. We will be. We will be getting dinner. We will be getting dinner. See all these people? Do you see them all? They love you very, very much. This is a joke, right, Army Grunt? Like, you know my stance on photos. Photos have no probative value for VA purposes. The only time a photo can actually have probative value, and that's any value at all, is if the photo is taking picture of something that is medical evidence itself. Like, you took a picture of a prescription bottle that has your doctor's name on it and stuff like that, and you submitted that. That is a mechanism. That is a mechanism of submitting evidence, but photos themselves can't, because it's very challenging for the rater to prove. Now, this comes back to that authenticity credibility review, right? It's impossible for me to prove that that's you, because number one, I normally don't have a photo of the veteran that I'm working on. So I don't know if you're Hispanic, white, black. I have no way to determine that's you. Like, even if you were holding up your driver's license, I don't know when that photo was taken. Also, and just for the sake of, I'll say it every single time that I think of it, please stop sending in penis pictures. Okay? I can't with that anymore. Like, it is a public service announcement that must be said at almost every single video. None of the female staff members appreciate that. Okay? None of the male staff members appreciate that either. It doesn't prove anything. We do not disagree that you may or may not have a penis. Okay? At no point in time do we disagree that you have a penis. So please, no more penis pictures if you can help it. Okay? We need that to not be a thing. MCM, you need to stop. You still make sure that the veterans aren't submitting. Screen that, please. For your veterans that you're submitting for, please, no sending penis pictures. It's hilarious. Yeah, I want my special monthly compensation. Here's my picture. Give it to me. No. So anyway, guys, what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be wrapping it up right now. So first, John's going to be organizing some live stream Q&A, like the missed Q&A questions, right? Anybody else that wants to do it can do it too, but and we'll be doing videos on those as soon as that picks back up. Now, the goal till the end of the year is to obviously help the channel grow. If you know somebody that would benefit from the videos, obviously have them watch the videos. And if they want to, they can like and subscribe. But what we'll be doing is we're going to be trying, the road to 10,000. So what does that mean? Whenever we get to 10,000 subscribers, we'll be doing a live stream event for that. And then, yeah, we'll be just kind of doing that kind of stuff. Now, I think that I'll be entertaining the idea of a Discord channel. Now, that is not a guarantee in any way, shape, or form, but I don't know what that'll look like. Okay. So I haven't thought about it at all. I've actually thought against it a lot. But if you guys are the ones wanting it, I might entertain it. I don't know how I would maintain it, but I think I would entertain it. And then there would be moderators over there too, and whatnot. Oh, wow. Disabled Ronan, that is very generous of you. I don't know how we would give that away, but I mean, obviously we'd have to manage that somehow, but definitely, I mean, that would be cool. Let me see here. Discord is like it's hard to describe, but it's like it's a place that you can log into and you can type comments, you can have phone calls with each other, you can the CivDiv has a Discord. Yeah, I don't know if I want, like, I just don't know what the parameters of it would be, and I don't want to go into anything too quickly. You know what I mean? It's like I said, this isn't like a business for me. It's not like a day job. It's not like I'm trying to sell a book or anything like that. But you know what's funny though? Like, actually, I'm gonna spend a couple of minutes just talking with you guys, just casually. I actually thought about like what it would be like to write a book, right? And maybe pairing up with a salty Marine and just putting out a book or some weirdness like that. But I don't know. That's like a future tense thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know if the book thing is even my thing. Like, I'm not a put out a book guy, but it would just be funny to put out a book. Maybe a coloring book for the love of mercy. Like Discord can be voice chat, but it's mostly like it's like a forum based where you can actually like just post comments and you can ask questions and have answers. Now, the problem with a forum where anybody can ask a question at any given time means that somebody has to answer it, and that person would be me. And then that puts even more questions in front of me, and it's a huge nightmare. I like Queen of Wands' statement here. Yeah. Pictures of Luna. Yeah, maybe pictures of Luna. Rants. I don't know. It just depends. Like it honestly depends on what's going to happen. But so far tonight we had a pretty good spike in subscribers. We got an additional like 10, 15 more just from the live stream. So that's good. But anyway, the book title, I don't know. I don't know what a book title would be for that. I got a C&P exam and all I got was membership to this Discord. I don't know. All right, Luna, I know. We're getting ready to go. Anyway, guys, that's about my cue. The boss, Luna, well, and Zoe. Zoe's here too, but she's very shy. She doesn't like to say anything. She's about 150 pounds, 160 pounds, I want to say. She's the bigger of the two. Zoe is. I know. Okay. But anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you tonight. Do me a favor. If you want to, like and subscribe to the live stream and share with a friend. And if you have time, go over and talk to the Salty Marine and the Salty Old Marine. Go watch their videos, please, because I'm going to put out like small YouTubers like myself. I'm always going to point out the good ones. And I haven't had a chance to see, was it H-Town? Hold on. I got to go to my channel. I'm subscribed, but I haven't actually watched any stuff on there yet. But yeah, H-Town Vet. I've got a couple people that I'm kind of watching, like the Informed Veteran and H-Town Vet. Like I'm trying to format an opinion on them. And see kind of like I like their stuff, but we'll see. I like watching things. But anyway, well, guys, that's all I got for you tonight. Raider out.